Oh, hello, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our College Credit Plus Information Night. I am Emily Maroney, the College Manager here at Cincinnati Public Schools, and we are so excited that you have joined us to learn more about a great opportunity that we have for you as a student or your loved one as a student. Tonight, I have some really great guests with me representing Cincinnati State, the University of Cincinnati, Sinclair Community College, Clark State University, as well as Miami University to talk through College Credit Plus specifically at their institution or college. If you have any questions throughout tonight's presentation, please do feel free to put it in the chat either on Facebook Live or on the Blue Jeans account that you're on, and we will make sure to try to hit those questions as many as we can. If there's so much information tonight, so if there's any point that you're like, too much to take in, please know that we will have this recording posted on our College Credit Plus website on our Cincinnati Public Schools site. So you can refer to it there and watch it again, rewind, fast forward as you see fit. And additionally, we have all these resources also available on our website, which we'll have the link to available. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is College Credit Plus? That is what Ohio calls our dual enrollment program. This is an opportunity for students in grades 7 through 12 to earn high school and college credit at the same time. So students enroll in the college courses and they are college students at that time for those courses. And for some students, they take full-time college courses later in their high school career. So they adhere to the policies and requirements of the particular college that they're enrolled with, as well as the policies and requirements of the high school they're still currently enrolled at. So who's eligible? Again, this is for grades 7 through 12. You can apply to any Ohio public college or participating Ohio private college, and we'll touch base on participating a little later on. You can apply to one, or you can apply and attend many. So let's say one institution hosts a course or field that you're really interested in, but you want to do gen ed at another institution, you are able to do that. You'll just need to apply to both. Students typically here at CPS take classes from the schools listed on the screen. So Cincinnati State, which is going to be talking with us today, as well as the University of Cincinnati, Sinclair Community College, Miami, are all represented here tonight. Ohio State University, Clark State, who is also here tonight, and Wright State University, but that does not mean those are the only ones. We do ask that our students be college ready to take college level coursework. It is an academic challenge. You are taking courses that have a little more rigor and expectation with them. And so being emotionally and socially ready to transition and take on college expectations. And we'll have a slide a little later on that goes more in depth on what that means and what it means to be prepared in that social, academic, and emotional space. It's an above average time management and organizational skill commitment. So while still enrolled in high school courses and taking college courses, there are different expectations in both of those arenas. So knowing what's needed and planning ahead, there might be times where two courses are requiring the same amount of homework or testing, and so being able to prepare for that and think ahead and organize that time around success in both those courses. And also knowing when to ask for help. Students who are taking College Credit Plus often are needing to self-advocate a little more than what would happen in a high school setting. And we'll touch base on self-advocating on the college campus versus self-advocating in the high school environment. So how does one in 7 through 12 qualify for CCP? So option 1 is a 3.0 unweighted cumulative GPA. Option 2, which is new this year, is a 2.75 GPA, but must be a B or higher in relevant coursework. So if you are planning to take English, you need to and only have a 2.75 or below a 3.0 in that window. You need to be able to show a B or higher in an English course that is taken prior to taking this English course. And option 3 is qualifying for a college ready within a test course. So that could be ACT, AccuPlacer, RightPlacer, or a college's choice for a self-designed test to show college readiness. What can you take? The options are endless. So there are academic advisors at the College of Attendance that will advise you on your options, be it you really know you want to be an engineer or you find your strengths more to be in STEM than in humanities, and often just an interest. What do you want to learn more about? Please note that some classes do have prerequisites, so that might have a precursor course that you'll need to take before you could enroll in that course that really maybe caught your eye, or has a requirement so that you can be best prepared and successful in that course. Those usually follows the like English 101 to English 102 type of format. You have your high school counselors also assisting you with this. And so the high school counselors and the college advisors also talk, but they'll be talking with you through your goals and options, as well as graduation requirements, which is critical because the courses that you take will also be applying to high school credits for graduation, state graduation, but at times, in fact, all times, also in your transcript. So your high school transcript will be showing your college courses, so it's really critical and a benefit that both your academic advisor and your high school counselor are conversing on behalf of your best interest. So let's look at some top classes that our students are taking and how they impact high school. So we have on the left side of the screen college, and so we know a first semester of English composition counts for your year of high school English and high school competence. A semester of college level math, and that could be quantitative reasoning, statistics, college algebra, or pre-calc, counts for a year of high school math and math competency. And when I say competency, that means towards high school graduation, and what is needed both in competency under graduation from Ohio Department of Ed, and then in some cases SEALs. The first semester of college level science with a lab counts towards 1 year of high school science and the science seal for graduation. I will add the caveat that the science seal for graduation, the course has to be a B or higher, so passing in college level credit. A first semester of U.S. history and first semester of American government, I add the and there because both need to be taken for 2 years of high school social studies and the citizenship seal. 1 semester of psychology counts to 1 year of high school social sciences, and 1 semester of IT or computer science is 1 year of high school elective or math, depending on the class. And it can also count, so kind of a trifecta, counting as a technology seal for graduation. So what does this mean? Again, I state that you have to successfully complete the courses in order to earn credit for all grades, 7 through 12, and that will be on your high school transcript. So if you get an A in the college credit course, that means that you will have an A on your high school transcript for that course. If you get an F, that articulates to an F on your high school transcript, and W's do come over and show on the transcript as well. A W is called withdrawal, so withdrawing from that course. Students also need to, in knowing that, request their official college transcripts for their intended college after high school. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on some later slides. So just know there is a correlation. What you take here shows in high school, and also taking college courses, you still need to get a transcript both from your high school and your college when applying to college after high school. So where can you take CCP? You can take courses during the summer, the fall, and spring semesters. A little caveat here, and something we really want to point out, we get asked this every single year. 12th grade students who are graduating are not eligible to take courses the summer after they graduate. So you can take fall, you can take spring, you can take junior year rising into senior year, summer, but you cannot take summer courses after graduation. Another thing I want to point out, and I will touch on again later because I really want it to stick in your brain, is that you can only take 30 credits per academic year. And an academic year is considered those 3 semesters, fall, spring, and summer. You may take the courses in high school, on a college campus, or online. So speaking about courses in high school, we have 51 embedded course options within Cincinnati Public Schools. This website here will list exactly which high school is offering which courses. We as you can see, have them in the following buildings, and we are going to be offering CCP in 2 new buildings in Euler and Riverview next academic year, which means all of our high schools will have at least one embedded College Credit Plus course in their high school. If your high school doesn't offer embedded coursework, please let us know via this email right here, because we want to ensure that courses of interest, we're able to work to credential teachers and work with our partners at our colleges and universities in order to be able to offer that in high school. I also add for this slide, because you might be confused and be like, well, Emily, I thought I could take it elsewhere. You can take embedded courses, and if your high school does not offer the embedded high school course of choice, the college course, of choice, you are able to take a course embedded, as well as, per our first or second slide that I talked about, also enroll at an institution in person that offers additional courses that you'd like to be taking in that quarter, semester, or year. So how do you participate? Where do you start? Eligibility. If I could see your faces, I'd give you a quiz, but students must be eligible for College Credit Plus in grades 7 through 12. So that's either an assessment, exam score, if you don't have the GPA, or the GPA. And so we're going to get a little more into the meat here. So the student eligibility assessment exam, that's a score to show college level readiness. And so that's in at least one subtest on an exam. So we have students who have taken ACT earlier than their junior year, or the SAT earlier. We have AccuPlacer, Alex, MapleSoft, and they're offered typically by the college after you as a student or your student applies to take CCP. So our colleges here today, again, I mentioned we have 5 with us. They will be mentioning exactly how they do testing into that assessment exam optioning in order to participate in CCP. GPA-wise, that is that 3.0 cumulative unweighted GPA, or that 2.75 GPA cumulative and unweighted with the additional measures. So example, that's what I just talked about a little while ago of you want to take an English course at a college, but you have a 2.75 or below a 3.0 in that window. So you'll be taking and looking at that GPA and then having a B or higher in the last English course that you took prior to the one you want to enroll in. So we really want to ensure students succeed in the subject area they wish to take at collegiate level, and that is why we have the opportunity to look at GPA in 2 different ways. Another exciting thing that is afforded to Cincinnati Public Schools is that some of our school locations do have innovative waivers for particular courses that have high student interest, but you might not have the GPA or the testing into ability. So there's more flexible criteria, and our school counselors are really well informed and advocates of using these innovative waivers to help explore student options. Step 2, so you have your eligibility, college admissions. You have to apply for admission, and even for options that are embedded, meaning they're only on high school and not going to the college of enrollment. So the college course is brought into the high school environment. You have to apply to the college that is either offering it as embedded and or the college that you're interested in going and doing online or going in person and attending. And so those parts of the application are the letter of intent, which is sent to the high school and available online, and we will talk more about that. The CCP application on the college website, and that will ask personal information. The transcript, which will be sent by your school counselor. The test scores, and that is if it's necessary. So again, that is if it's a course that needs to show collegiate readiness and or GPA threshold that is not met. The state introduced 2 new things this past year, the mature content form, so that's the parent or guardian consent needed to be able to take mature and learn about mature content, potentially in the course requested, as well as a mature content questionnaire, which will be completed by the student. So with all of this, I do want to add a little caveat. We do have some students here in our district that are without U.S. residency and may feel that that personal information is a little triggering and targeting. Please understand, we encourage all students to participate in CCP if they so choose and want to get credit for it. And not only CPS, but we work with our partners to ensure the privacy of that information as well as the access to these programs and services for all equitably. Then is college admissions. So some colleges do have higher admissions requirements than others. So today you'll hear about what that means for each college that we partner with or other colleges in the region that you might have interest in that participate in the CCP program. Colleges do have the final decision on whether or not you are allowed to participate at their institution in College Credit Plus. So that is up to all of the factors that are submitted in the application, the eligibility, the testing, and the college's perception of, through interaction with you, on college readiness and preparedness to participate in this program. Then there's course registration. So if you're considered eligible, you've been admitted, then the college, through their academic advisors and also assistance at time with your high school counselors, who again are the kind of that dual source of resource, will discuss the course options based on your scores, your prerequisites, and any other requirements that might be needed for both that college and or the course you're interested in. So class registration occurs in your high school building. So they're handled with you by the school counselor in that high school building if you're taking embedded courses, and even if you're taking college courses at the institution of choice, your school counselor is able to help you by registering for those classes and or your academic advisor that you'll be assigned. So what courses can you take? The first goal is that we want students to look at completing high school graduation. That's working with your school counselor. That's the slide I talked about previously of this math counts for this year and how that impacts your high school graduation. We don't want students taking lots of college credit courses that are not applicable to actually graduating from high school and having dual impact. The second goal that we encourage students towards is finishing a first semester of college. So you have one semester down, it's complete. Some aim for even the first year of college complete. So that's looking at about 30 credit hours being completed for your first year of college through CCP. And that you would be working with your college academic advisor to really see what that would look like at that particular institution. We do have some students who have earned associate's degrees before high school graduation. In fact, we had 4 that were awarded 2 school years ago. In this past school year, we had 6. And so that is a certificate or associate's degree, which equates to 60 credit hours. I will keep talking about this, but again, it can be only 30 credit hours a student can take as College Credit Plus under the overhead program that is paid for by the state. You can take additional credit hours, but the student will be charged directly the rate by the institution for any outside of 30 credit hours for that academic year in pursuit of either the first semester, the first year, or the associate's degree or certificate. So what kind of courses? What's the goal? We ask every student who's interested in College Credit Plus to kind of think of that career pathway that interests them, especially after taking the first 15, and we'll talk about what the first 15 is. And so think about pathways that identify courses to either a major of interest or a degree requirement you're thinking. So in the past, we've had CPS students who have gotten certificates or early starts on pathways as an EMT, LPN, interpreter, leadership certificates, you name it. We have pipelines in our own schools, like our UC Early IT program, where students are starting as sophomores in the IT degree at the University of Cincinnati. So there's a lot of different ways to look at this and be intentional about starting with pursuit of a specific career or even interest that you really like STEM. So you take STEM courses and are really trying to navigate that, the career is going to be in the field of science. And so taking courses that help you figure out which sector of science is the most relevant to your interest. So I mentioned the last slide, the 15 credit hours. So the first 5 courses that students in College Credit Plus must take are the first 5 college classes. So they have to be transferable, meaning that they apply to your high school graduation. And there's a wide variety of options for that. You can take courses in IT, computer science, anatomy and physiology, foreign language. Courses that are considered in the 5 are part of technical certificates. They are part of the state's 15 or 30 credit pathway, and all this information again is on our website, or they can even in part be courses in study skills, academic or career success. So let's say you want to start taking English or math or science, but you also want to take on a college readiness course or career success course. That can be counted in the first 15 credit hours. So, course eligibility rules, where to find names of college classes. These are the catalogs for our partners who are on the call today. Again, you will have access to these slides, and our partners will be sharing information about these catalogs and courses as we get more into our presentation. So courses that are not allowable by CCP, they are private applied courses with one-on-one instruction. So here we use the example of performing arts lessons. There are courses with high fees. So the state does pay for tuition and fees. So they say no high fees, please. Study abroad courses. So we need to ensure that our students are not joining study abroad courses that take them away for a semester. Physical education courses do not count. Any course that is listed automatically as a pass-fail graded course. We do not cover remedial courses or sectarian religious courses. And again, you're going to hear me say it for the third and maybe final time. Stay tuned. I can't promise it. We can't exceed 30 credit hours per year, and per year counts for the fall, spring, and summer of that academic year. So that's about 15 college classes. So grades. I touched on this a little earlier. I keep saying that phrase. The College Credit Plus grades earned in college are the same grade that will be on the high school transcript. So we said, if you get an A, it shows an A. You get an F, it shows an F. You get a W, which means withdrawal, it shows the withdrawal. The CCP courses don't only show on your high school transcript, but they're going to be factored into your high school and college GPAs. And they're weighted the same as AP classes at a high school location. So there's a little more weight that comes with those grade letters that impact GPA. So as promised, what are some differences that we've heard, we've seen, and we know about high school and college? So when thinking about tests, they're frequent, they're less content per test. In college, they're less, but there's more content per test. So we have frequent tests in high school, less content per the test. In college, it's, okay, you have 1, 2, or 3 big exams, and there's content. It's content heavy. Study time in high school, I believe this varies, but about an hour a week, sometimes for courses, not at all. I'm going to roll my eyes at that. I hope everyone is using time to study. But in college, you're doing about 2 to 3 hours a week, if not 2 to 3 hours per course that you're taking, and sometimes even more than that, depending on the rigor of that, the professor or instructor's expectations. High school and classes, reviewing the content and then doing homework to show your reception of the content. Colleges, you're going to do homework and then you're going to review the content. I know it's a little wonky. So you do your homework and then review together what that content was. So it's really challenging you to critically think or grapple, depending on what the course content is, and then reviewing that. Writing, you have about 1 to 2 pages per assignment in high school, maybe a little bit more if you're taking a specialty class, and you have about 3 to 6 pages per assignment in college in writing. In reading, 5 to 15 pages. In college, it's about 20 to 40 per assignment. Parents, you get to drive the decisions, own the records. In college, the student, you are driving the decisions, you're owning the records. In fact, you have to give your parents permission to look at your records in college. So that is a big mindset shift and a trust factor built between you and the parent or guardian. And accommodations. So we do have a variety of accommodations and services for our students in high school. That does not mean the college does not offer the same variety and supports and services. But here in high school, it's already documented and it follows you year to year. In college, however, you have to self-advocate and make it known and connect with those college resources to then be able to use those resources and needs within the courses that you're taking. So that will not transfer over with you without you self-identifying that to the college that you're attending. So the perks of CCP. I hope it is already out there, the perks of CCP, but you're earning high school and college credit at the same time. You're getting a head start. So for those of you that's like, I know exactly what I want to do, congrats. For those of you that are like, I really want to take the time to get credit for my gen eds while also exploring what I want to do in a career path or degree, that's an awesome head start in both those worlds. You get to experience college early and have the supports of still high school and those around you and college to kind of just get your feet wet and figure it out before the big dunk. You're saving on tuition and textbooks, so that's covered. It's completely free out of pocket for you. You're not relying on test scores to determine your college coursework. So it doesn't matter what the EOC was in that particular course that you took at a college level and passed. And you get to be involved in clubs and resources and services as a college student. So you're seen as a college student, meaning that you get to partake in some institutions give students recreation and access to games and the tutoring center and the library. So oftentimes we have students say, wow, in fact, professors say, I didn't realize I was a CCP student until they self-identified that to me. And so that's really a benefit and an opportunity. One thing we are so proud of in our district and we want to highlight here is that 91% of our students who take CCP are successful in earning the credit that they attempted. That's 91%. That is a high percentage. And in many cases, it's not the student failing the course, it's the student withdrawing from the course in that remaining 9% to just say, you know what, I'm trying, but it's maybe not fitting right now. And we do see some of those students who do withdraw from a course the next year participating and successfully completing the course with credit because they took the right time to figure out those nuances of being most successful. But on the flip side, what are the consequences when not passing or underperforming? So CPS, we do not charge for withdrawn or failed classes. So there's not a financial repercussion for failing or pulling out of that course. However, if you do withdraw or fail often, there may be future financial aid impacts that can negatively impact you in that. So you just want to be able to talk through that with both your college advisor and your school counselor if that becomes a trend. They are on your college transcripts permanently. So if you get that F, it is on your high school transcript. It's also on your college transcript that will be following you. If you perform poorly, we do have avenues to try to support you. It may not look like it on the front end, but let's say you get below a 2.0 in the college courses and classes that you're taking, you may be placed on what we call CCP probation, which limits future participation. So the probationary period, we look at, hey, how are you doing? What interventions are taking place? If that does not work with the interventions taking place, there may be CCP dismissal, which is suspension of being able to participate in CCP, or academic probation or dismissal by the college. So while there are no fiscal consequences up front to withdrawing or failing classes, there are some interventions and repercussions that can happen when performing below a certain GPA and or other factors. So the big question everyone asks, how much does it cost me? Will it ever cost me? There's no cost. So at public universities and colleges here in Ohio that participate in College Credit Plus, the state pays for the tuition required fees and CPS pays for your books and your materials. Some optional expenses that are the responsibility of you as the student or you as the family or guardian is parking or transportation. We, however, at CPS have been afforded the opportunity through some funds to help with transportation expenses through Metro cards if it is a barrier to CCP participation. So we want to ensure that you as a student are able to get to your institution of choice. And so we do provide those Metro passes and advocate for you to be able to use them. There are private colleges or universities that there may be an additional fee to take that class through CCP above what the state pays per that credit hour. And I also not all of our private colleges here in the state of Ohio participate in CCP. So you'll want to be aware of that. It's often a big sign when you go to apply for CCP at an institution. It doesn't have the link or application for that. Probably a Sharewell sign that they don't offer College Credit Plus. So some examples of that here locally would be Mount St. Joseph University or Mount St. Joe's, and Xavier University do not participate at this time. We note, if for some reason you do not want your CCP classes on your high school transcript, you can avoid that by choosing to self-pay for the classes. So that would not be seen as kind of that correlation through the state and the institution and district. The default for the district to pay is you have to opt in to option A or self-pay. So the default is we pay. If you don't want it on your high school transcript, you'll do option A. The thing that you really want to pay attention to in this is that the final date to change the election of option A or B is on or before the college's no-fault withdrawal date. So that's usually about 14 calendar days from the start of the semester. If you are an athlete wanting to take this, please learn and speak with your AAA Pathways coach in your high school or definitely your school counselor to learn about the Ohio High School Athletic Association requirements. There are different requirements for athletes, especially if you want to play in college. Summer term CCP courses cannot be used to bring you into compliance with requirements for interscholastic athletic participation. So you cannot use CCP courses for compliance factors. And you're still required to take 5 classes regardless of rigor to be eligible for athletics. So that doesn't mean you can take 3 college level courses and be like, wow, the rigor is really intense. You have to take 5. So that would mean if you're taking 3, you're taking 2 additional high school courses as you're still enrolled in high school. You have to show 5 courses per your transcript per semester at least. So what happens when you graduate from high school? If you take CCP courses and you, let's say, go to Cincinnati State for CCP, decide to enroll in Cincinnati State after taking CCP and graduating, no additional steps needed. However, let's say you take CCP from a college, which you do not attend after graduation, you will request your CCP transcript from the college that you took the CCP courses and send it to the college you plan to attend after high school. And they're going to evaluate your credits as transfers, so articulated credits. Just so you know, you're covered. So in Ohio, all public Ohio colleges must accept credit for CCP courses that fit within the first 15 roll. All colleges that offer CCP courses are accredited, meaning that most courses will transfer. So even if you do not go to an Ohio public or private university, they're accredited courses, the CCP ones that you're taking. So you will have someone on the side of admissions in the registrar or admissions itself looking at your transcript and saying that it's accredited courses. So you have to check with your college to confirm transfer of credits because some colleges, they have charts. And so they'll be able to tit for tat exactly what that means. But a really great link that you can use is visiting transfercredit.ohio.gov. And so those are all the transfer articulated courses in the state of Ohio that are transferable taken as CCP, or even, I'll add this caveat, taken after high school and taken in another institution that covers also transfer credit between a 2 and 4 year or a 4 and 4 year transfer after high school. So a really great resource to have. How to get started, and then I'm going to hand it over to some partners. Letter of intent is due by April 1st, 2023 each year. Filling out the CCP application on college website, which we have reviewed. Deadlines do vary, so please know that you should start thinking about and having completed this within the window of usually April 1st for summer term, May 1st for the fall term. The transcript, which is sent by your school counselor. Our school counselors are so good to us, are they not? please give a little leeway time to your school counselor to get your transcript ready to send it. There's nothing more fearful than a school counselor getting a transcript request 3 hours before the deadline closes on the CCP application. Test scores. Again, that may or may not be necessary for you depending on your GPA or what courses you're looking to test into. So make sure you know whether or not you need that, and you have your college advisor or your high school counselor to be able to talk you through if you'll be needing to take test scores for your eligibility, your admissions, and or the course you wish to. Counselors do have to sign an authorization form, so that is sent by the school counselor. I repeat what I said about transcripts without repeating it. Timeliness is key. And then your mature content form and your mature content questionnaire. The questionnaire is easier because it's filled out by the student. The parent or guardian consent is needed, however, to complete that application process. We will be around for questions. I want to make sure you get to hear from the experts at each school. So we do have our CCP website for additional resources offered by the state, as well as our own website for Cincinnati Public Schools, which has updated information and will have the information that I talked about here recorded and on video on that website. So, and as always, please email us at collegescps.k12oh.us. We will answer that. We will be in contact with you. So without further ado, I am so excited to welcome my esteemed Cincinnati State CCP partner.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Emily. My name is Tara Sword, and I am the CCP manager from Cincinnati State. So Emily's going to be running the presentation, so I'll be kind of cueing her on when I'm ready to move forward. So just briefly, Emily gave a great overview of the CCP program, but a couple of things that I just want to highlight as related to Cincinnati State and our CCP options. So obviously, as she shared, highlighting the money and the cost savings is first and foremost when you're thinking about your options when related to CCP. For us at Cincinnati State, one of the really important things that we like to talk and work with students on is making sure that you're thinking about how the CCP classes that you're taking in high school are going to connect not only to your high school graduation requirements, but also to those future degree plans. We really want you to use your CCP coursework as a launch into those future pathways and programs, future career fields that you want to pursue. It can be a great way to get a jump start on that. With Cincinnati State, you will have options, many options actually embedded in some of the Cincinnati public school buildings, which I'll highlight here in just a moment. But you also will have options to come to any of our campuses. We do have our main campus, which is located in Clifton. We also have a campus in Middletown. We have our airport, which is located in Harrison. So you can choose to take on-campus classes at any of those locations as long as they fit your schedule. Or one of the more popular options for CCP students would be to go either in an online or a remote format. So online or our web options would be 100% online with no required meetings, and then the remote options would have some sort of interactive component, Zoom, Blackboard Collaborate, something along those lines that does give you a little bit of time with the teacher in that group environment with your class. Also, as part of the CCP program at Cincinnati State, you will have complete access to not only our College Credit Plus advisors, which we have a whole team waiting to help you make all of these great plans, but you also have access to all of the college's resources. So Emily highlighted in one of the comparisons regarding accommodations, we have a disability services office that's there to help you transition those accommodations from your 504 IEP in high school into what is available at the college level. You'll also have access to all of our tutoring resources, subject-specific tutoring, our writing center to help you with papers and essays across the board, as well as math support from our math center. There's also a lot of other great resources that are available. No, you're good, Emily. You can go ahead. So in terms of eligibility at Cincinnati State, it's very similar to what Emily highlighted. So we're looking at first and foremost at your unweighted high school GPA. If you have a 3.0, that typically is going to deem you through Cincinnati State eligible to participate in the CCP program. If you are below a 3.0 and you're somewhere between that 2.75 and 2.99 unweighted, but you do have 2 years of high school English or math with a B or better, typically that is going to lead to eligibility to participate in College Credit Plus. If you've already taken your ACT or SAT, we see ACT most commonly, so that's why it's kind of highlighted here, and you've met any of the scores that you see listed there, generally that again can lead towards general eligibility. One thing that Emily did mention, and I do want to kind of highlight that's really important to think about, is eligibility to participate in the program, and course eligibility can be a little bit different because as she mentioned, there are certain prerequisites, things like that, that have to be met. And that's where some of those testings that she was referencing come into play. And we'll talk about those a little bit more here in just a second. Thank you. So again, just to echo a lot of the things that Emily already hit on, there is a big difference between transitioning from high school to college versus CCP while you're in high school and being a college student at the same time. So you do want to weigh those things that were mentioned, the mature content, before you decide that you want to take a psychology class, for example. You want to make sure that you're prepared for the subject matter that's going to be covered. You also want to think about the big differences, the time management, the extracurricular activities that you're involved in, the number of courses that you're taking compared with your high school schedule, and how you're going to balance all of that with your work, your family, and your life. And she also mentioned the self-advocating. I thought she did a great job kind of talking about that. The biggest difference, again, is in high school, we're very used to our parents being very involved on the front end and being able to communicate with our teachers, with your schools, with your counselors, all of those things. At the college level, we legally cannot speak to your parents unless you give us permission to do so. So you want to make sure from the beginning that you're prepared to have those conversations on your own, and then bring your parents in if you feel like we need to go through that process. Time management, I already touched on a little bit. And the biggest thing, like I said, for us is really helping students to plan, to figure out what they can take as CCP that will benefit them not only in their high school completion, but also in those future career programs. Go ahead. Thank you. So at Cincinnati State, I want to kind of talk about our application process for just a second. You'll see the link there. It is cincinnatistate.edu/CCP, and then you are going to see an apply now link. We do have obviously our degree seeking application, so you want to make sure you complete the CCP specific application. Once you've completed that application, you'll want to kind of let your counselor know, and then they will be able to send over your high school transcript so we can get that linked up with your file. That high school transcript is also going to be what we use as a first kind of wave to evaluate if you meet the eligibility requirements for the CCP program. Then once you have your initial conversation with the advising team, that's when some of those things like testing will come into play. But if for some reason your transcript doesn't show immediate eligibility, you can also talk to your counselor about reaching out to the college so that we can help you plan to come in and take our AccuPlacer, or make arrangements to take it online, or we can talk about ACT or SAT scores that you've already taken. It's a best practice. Anytime that you're having your counselor send those transcripts, if you do already have test scores, go ahead and have those sent over to us. The same thing goes if you've taken any prior AP credit. Go ahead and have those test scores sent over to us from the AP exams, so we already know what you have, so that we make sure we're not repeating anything that you've already done. And then on top of that, Emily referenced the state's requirement for the mature content permission form that the parent and student complete together. Ours is an electronic form through Cincinnati State's online portal, which we use Blackboard as our learning system. And then once you have been admitted to the college, we'll send you information about how to complete that online. Okay. Thank you. Timeline wise, typically right now we are still kind of in the preparation for our spring kind of course start date. Our classes start towards the end of January. So if you look there, we do have priority admissions by November 1st. I'm assuming most of you probably are looking at starting next year. So we want to think about the summer and fall timelines. So summer, we want you to typically have done your application prior to spring break. Usually we kind of throw March 1st out there. And the same thing goes for fall. Before summer break is when you want to have that application done so that your counselor can send over those transcripts before everyone heads out for the summer. So priority admission deadline for that is May 1st. The Cincinnati State does have fairly flexible admission deadlines, especially for our CCP students. So while we want to hold you accountable to these, if for some reason you miss one or you're a few days late, that's okay. That's not a problem. We'll help you work through that. And then once you've applied and have been admitted to the college, the next thing that you're going to do is your advising and registration session. So what this is it's a Zoom session very similar to what we're doing now. Oh, let me specify first. I'm talking mostly for students who are going to be taking either on campus with us at one of our locations or online classes. The process is a little bit different for our embedded courses, so we'll kind of talk about those separately. But advising and registration will go over the general CCP information as related to Cincinnati State. And then in that setting, we'll walk you through how to navigate your Blackboard portal. You'll meet your advising team. And then in there on the spot, we'll help you get registered for your first semester courses. Once you've completed advising and registration, or as part of that, then as you continue to develop your relationship with your academic advising team, what we want you to start thinking about is what are your goals? What are your either short-term goals or your long-term goals when it comes to CCP? And we typically encourage our students to think about it in terms of 12, 24, and 36 credit hours. So 12 credit hours is typically connected to one light semester of college. 24 would be 2 light semesters of college. And then 36 is connected to what Ohio calls the OT 36, which is the Ohio Transfer 36. It's 36 credit hours of general education coursework that we have rolled a certificate out of that allows a student to come away from Cincinnati State as a CCP student with that credentialed certificate and the majority of their general education classes out of the way. In addition to that, you'll see below, it does amount to a pretty significant cost savings over the term of those 36 credit hours if you were to take them as a traditional degree-seeking student at an institution. And I told you I would come back to the embedded courses. So we are really, really lucky at Cincinnati State to have a great partnership with Cincinnati Public Schools. We have a variety of embedded classes in a number of buildings. So we're really excited that we're going to be entering into some embedded options that are coming to Aiken in 2023. And then you will see, other than that, we have a lot of math, a lot of English, a lot of anatomy and physiology are the most common options throughout Clark, Hughes, Taft, Schroeder, Walnut, Western, Withrow, and Woodward. They kind of are the common themes, if you will. So the great thing about this is that you have the opportunity to be able to take some things that are embedded within your buildings and also supplement that with online. You can kind of pick and choose how you're doing your CCP courses, which can be a really great option to be able to maximize the benefit of those eligible 30 hours that Emily hit on. But this is also why it's really important to communicate with your academic advisors and also with your school counselors, because we want to make sure that you're staying within that 30 credit hour parameter, because it is a combination of your college and high school courses, and that will help you to maximize. Okay. And then just a little bit of information about our team. So like I said, my name's Tara. There is my contact information. If you have questions, you can feel free to reach out to me directly. My counterpart that works on the academic side, she is our lead advisor and coordinator. Her name is Sue, and there is her contact information. We have a great advising team that spans our Clifton campus and our Middletown campus. I've listed them there. And then if you have general questions and you can't think of my name or Sue's name, we have a general CCP email, which is just ccpinformation@cincinnatistate.edu. We're happy to answer your questions. We can talk to you more in depth about what's offered embedded within your buildings, or about what those on-campus or online options look like.
Thank you so much, Tara. Up next, we have Beth Young from the University of Cincinnati.
Hi, everyone. So I will start this by saying that a lot of what I'm going to present is going to echo what Tara said in terms of what you can benefit from with participating in the CCP program and what opportunities might be available to you. So we'll talk a little bit about what those are, specific course options that students might engage with at the University of Cincinnati, options that we offer in some of the CPS buildings, and then we'll talk specifics about our application, deadline dates, etc. We can move on to the next slide, please. So some of the advantages we have are that, number one, and some of you may already be aware, students that are from Cincinnati Public Schools and participate in CPS, or CCP rather, will have a free application to the university as an undergraduate student. So that's one thing we rolled out last year that has proved to be very popular, and we want to make sure that all students are aware of that opportunity. We also want students to know that they are privy to any and all of the academic support services and resources that our traditional students have. So even if you're taking a course in your high school building, you can still receive tutoring on campus or use our library resources to your advantage. Computer labs as well. Some of the maker spaces might be something that you might want to take advantage of. And in recent years, we've had a lot more students take advantage of the many research and internship opportunities available through UC. Typically, those students tend to be upperclassmen who have a little bit of previous CCP experience, but it is something that we're seeing an increase in. And of course, one of the main purposes of CCP is to try to save time and money toward earning a credential like a certificate, an associate's degree, or a bachelor's degree. So next, on to some of the course options. Students can do one application at UC. We have one, seamless CCP program, and students can participate at any one of our campuses, Clifton and Uptown, UC Blue Ash, and then UC Claremont out in Batavia, Ohio. So students can mix and match courses. They can take courses online. They can take a course at Blue Ash and Claremont. It's whatever works best for their schedule. Typically, students are limited to the first 15 that was mentioned earlier, these level 1 courses that are highly transferable. They tend to be very general in terms of their content, like intro psych, college algebra, that sort of thing. But once students have those criteria met, they can really open themselves up to the rest of the catalog, so long as they're meeting the course prerequisites. So we do have a couple of partnerships with some of the CPS school buildings. One of our earliest partnerships that we formed was with SCPA. We do offer a full year of U.S. history at SCPA. And then we also offer a full year of engineering at Walnut Hills. One of our newer partnerships is with Withrow, where we are starting to build a business pathway, partnering with our Lindner College of Business, where students who participate in the CCP program and the business program at Withrow will have guaranteed admission to the Lindner College of Business at UC if they complete the course requirements and earn a certain GPA. We also have an early IT program that I think Emily referenced earlier that involves a number of Cincinnati public schools, primarily focusing on Hughes and Schroeder, but students can get the first year of the IT degree done before they even finish high school. So that is something that is becoming increasingly popular. Even if students don't have the option to take it within their particular school building, they do have the option to come to campus to take those IT courses as well. So next, to talk about application materials, first step is to apply. Everything is online. It's at uc.edu/ccp/apply. Once you have your online application turned in and submitted, we do also need you to fill out electronically the CCP permission slip that was referenced earlier to make sure that everyone is aware that there may be mature content covered in courses on campus. And then we do also require an official high school transcript sent directly from your school counselor. If you happen to be in 7th or 8th grade, we will accept a grade report in lieu of an official high school transcript. I do also mention here that all application materials must be posted and received by our deadline dates. If we go to the next slide, I believe we talked deadline dates. Oh, we're at eligibility first. We'll get the deadline dates in a minute. But for eligibility, if a student wants to come to one of our campuses, Blue Ash, Clifton, or Claremont, and they want to take courses on our campus with our faculty or to take a course maybe online with a UC faculty member, they have to meet one of the criteria that you see here, that 3.0 GPA that you keep hearing about. If they have a 3.0 unweighted high school GPA, they may be considered eligible for our program. If a student falls within that slightly lower range of a 2.75 to 2.99, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the student's high school transcript, and we're going to look for B grades or better in core courses like English and mathematics. And then as a last resort, students can submit official ACT or SAT test scores. And I should also mention that we will consider any and all combination of these things. So maybe if a student is meeting what they need on the ACT English, but their math score isn't where it needs to be, but they've proven that they have straight A's in math in high school, we'll consider a number of those different criteria to make sure that we're giving the student the best advantage possible. We do also have slightly different requirements for students who are taking courses embedded in their high school. They're a little bit more flexible. So we still look for that 3.0 high school GPA, but if a student falls within that slightly lower range, we're just going to look for a B grade or better in at least one high school course. And particularly if we know that we're doing a course like US history, for example, at SCPA, we're not going to be as concerned with the students' math and science grades as we are with things like English, writing, anything that's in the history language arts area. And again, we will always accept ACT or SAT test scores, but by and large, students are relying on their high school GPA at this point in time. We do have a couple of options for students in particular schools where if they don't quite have the GPA that we're looking for, maybe they're just below that 2.75 mark, we have what we call innovative program waivers at Withrow, SCPA, and Walnut. So for those programs, it means that if you don't quite have that GPA, but you still want to participate, the state has given us a waiver where we can consider you with a GPA slightly below that 2.75. So if you are from one of those schools and you want to participate in the coursework that we're offering in those buildings, we might have some other means to make sure that you meet eligibility standards to still be able to participate. And as Emily mentioned earlier, make sure to talk with your counselor about that opportunity. All right, so for course placement and advising at UC, every student in the CCP program is assigned to an academic advisor. We start with virtual orientation for all students, and then each student will meet one-on-one, virtually or in person, with their assigned academic advisor. And at that time, students are going to discuss with their advisor their plans, what they want to take, if they have particular major or career goals. Once their decision's made about what the course selections are, your advisor will tell you whether or not you need to take math and or an English placement test. Those placement tests are done completely online and remote. Your advisor will send you links to be able to take those, and they'll guide you accordingly based on those scores. Here's our team. We do have a team of 6 at this point. We have 3 advisors ready to serve students, whether you're taking a course on our campus, online, or in your high school. I believe our next page, if I'm not mistaken, also has our general contact information. We tell students, email us at ccp@uc.edu. You can reach out to folks individually, but you will get the fastest response by reaching out to our general emails. We say that's sort of like calling our front desk. It's like our information line. Typically, we get back and respond to you within 24 hours of posing a question. So if you do have questions about your eligibility or a particular course or experience that you're interested in exploring at UC, please contact us. We want to know what it is that you're looking at. If there might be any potential barriers, we want to make sure we can help you clear those. So don't hesitate and reach out with any questions that you might have. Applications are open now for summer and fall. I believe there was a slide that I don't know if we got skipped over or if it got out of order, but I did have a slide with deadline dates on it. I'm not seeing it in the presentation any longer, but for your notes, our summer deadline will be April 1st. And our fall deadline for fall 23 will be June 1st. So you can start applying now. The sooner you apply, the sooner you can get in for orientation and get in to meet with your advisor. And again, any questions, just forward them to us at ccp@uc.edu.
Thank you so much, Beth. Okay, next we have Jillian Stasha with Sinclair Community College.
reasons why it's a great option. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we can
perfect.
hear you now. We can't see you though, so it's completely up to you.
Okay. Hi. Then if you could please go to the next slide. Alrighty, so there are many reasons to choose Sinclair. We have 5 campus locations: Dayton, Mason, Englewood, Huber Heights, and Centerville. Students can participate at any of these campuses, and as a CCP student, you have complete access to all resources at Sinclair, like academic advising, tutoring, accessibility services, and more. We have many transfer agreements and partnerships with colleges like the University of Dayton with our UD Sinclair Academy, and Wright State with the Wright Path program that allows students to start at Sinclair and transfer there seamlessly to complete their 4-year degree. We have we have classes on campus, online, and there's some even at your high school taught by high school instructors. We currently have classes at the Cincinnati Public Schools, including Aiken, Spencer Center, and SCPA. Sinclair offers over 200 degree and certificate programs. We also have career and transfer degree programs. Career degrees will allow a student to complete their degree, whereas a degree degree would be one that would allow you to enter the workforce or skilled or technical field. Lastly, our Free to Finish scholarship will allow students who complete 24 credit hours during their time as a CCP student and maintain a GPA of 2.5 will automatically be awarded the scholarship and come to finish their degree at Sinclair. If you could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. For the application process, students will need to complete our online CCP application, and they will also do a parent and school authorization form that will be done by their school representative. After all of this information is received, students and families will receive a letter detailing their next steps. This will be conditional admittance or acceptance, and students will still need to test college ready, which I'll talk more about on the next slide, before they can register for classes. And then the high school counselors will provide the next steps on if testing is needed to determine their eligibility. And if you could please go to the next slide. Thank you. So with eligibility, when it comes to figuring out if you're ready for a CCP, there are testing requirements and scores you need to meet to get the prerequisite requirements taken care of. We take into consideration your English and math scores for the SAT and ACT, years taken of high school math and English, as well as your GPA, and you can see those scores below. You can also become eligible by taking our placement tests we offer at Sinclair, either on campus or online, and these determine your placement for math and English. So we have what's called the AccuPlacer, which you need to score a 5 on, which tests for English and social sciences, and we have an ALEX test, which scores for math and science readiness. There are still other options for you to take CCP classes if you do not meet these requirements. For example, we have courses without a prerequisite, like a history or government class. So now we have what is the mature content form, which is new recently on the application this year. So now both the student and the parent guardian must acknowledge that they're going to be exposed potentially to mature content being in a college class. So students have a parent signature piece now required on our application. And then once accepted, they will go and complete the mature content questionnaire, which is just saying, yes, I did the mature content form, which will be done through your school. Once accepted, that would be in the Sinclair portal. So for next steps, below are 2 very important dates. The first being the intent to participate deadline of April 1st. In our Sinclair application deadline, we would like all applications to be done by May 1st. This makes it a much more seamless transition process to make sure you're all ready to go for starting classes. Before registering for classes, we always recommend that you meet with an academic advisor. They're going to be the best source for making those course recommendations to you, but we always want to make sure you're talking with your high school counselor to make sure you're meeting that requirement to satisfy your high school graduation, and also your academic advisor at Sinclair will make sure it's aligning towards what program or certificate you're interested in as well. So, as you can see, the CCP students really succeed at the college level, and we always want to see these success rates. We've had 70 graduates this last year graduate with an associate degree from Sinclair before they even received their high school diploma. And we're also seeing statistics that are surpassing the average college student from CCP. 91% of them have received passing grades and earned that college credit. Next slide, please. Alrighty. So below is the College Credit Plus office information. Our office is located at the Dayton campus. And again, I'm Jillian Sasha, the Sinclair College Credit Plus coordinator for Cincinnati Public Schools. So I'm happy to help however I can on your College Credit Plus journey. And below is my phone number and email.
Thank you so much, Jillian. Up next,
Welcome.
thank you. We have Heather Bright from Clark State.
Hi there, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay,
good.
excellent. And hopefully my video, I think my video is on. So hi, I am from Clark State. My name is Heather Bright Biddle, and I am an admission specialist at Clark State. And I think it's clear from the presentation that obviously you have so many wonderful options to choose from. And so I just want to give you a snapshot of what Clark State has to offer. Feel free to go to the next slide. Just to tell you a little bit about our campus, we have over 6,000 students at over 4 locations. So probably a lot of you aren't coming on campus, but online is a great option for you. And we have our Springfield campus, which is our main location, and we also have a locations in Beaver Creek, Xenia, and Bell Fountain. One of the highlights about our campus, about our school, is that we do have smaller classroom sizes. So as you can see, we have that 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And so that's really going to give you personalized attention in your classes. But I also want to mention you're also going to get really personalized attention even through the admissions process, because this is your first time going to college. And so we want to help you even along the steps of admissions, feeling comfortable and feeling confident as you take these steps into college. Go ahead to the next slide. So as others have mentioned, one of the best things about being a CCP student is that you are also connected to the exact same resources as a traditional college student. So here are some of the resources that are available at Clark State. Of course, advising, we have an amazing career services program because the whole focus of going to school is having a great career and making good money. And so we want to help connect you to the career that you want to have. And so we have a lot of tests and resources that can help you determine, what do I want to do with my life? And then we have our counseling center. And so we have full-time counselors on staff at a couple of our locations where you can make free appointments as a student to talk to someone. And then we have our bookstore, we have interfaith rooms, of course the IT help center. One that I love to bring out is our connection with, and we have a clinic at our Springfield location called Mercy Health Springfield Primary Care, where students have access to the clinic. You can have up to 6 visits per academic year, and that is all available to you as a Clark State student. Also the Office of Accessibility, and then the Office of Student Support, whereas others have said, if you need accommodations, we want to help you. Yes, you do have to be the one to advocate for yourself and bring that to our attention, but once you do, we want to help you in every step of the process, even at placement testing if you need accommodations or in individual classes. So yes, feel free to move forward. I really want to highlight our CCP scholarship because it's an amazing opportunity for CCP students. If you do start out your CCP journey with Clark State and you finish 30 credit hours of Clark State CCP prior to finishing high school, you are eligible to apply for the CCP scholarship. And basically what that means is you've already finished 30 credit hours, and so if you can, as you go to the next year after high school, that you have one more year where you can complete the next 30 hours free with that scholarship if you receive that scholarship. So go ahead to the next slide, please. And I'll briefly talk about the admissions process. I do want to say that what happens when you apply is that you will receive an email right away letting you know what your next steps are. And we have a CCP admission specialist who will be right there with you along the way to help you understand what the next steps are. One of the things we want you to know at Clark State is you're not alone in this process. And we want to be there to help you along the way. And so right there on our website, clarkstate.edu/apply, as others have said, you'll want to make sure you fill out the CCP application on the website. And we have a portal where you can create an account, and then if you can't finish it right then, that's okay. You'll just log back into that account to finish the application. The CCP permission slip that others have talked about. You'll submit your ACT or SAT scores or take our free placement test at one of our locations or online. And then there's the student questionnaire. And then you'll attend the CCP orientation, which will give you even more information on how to be successful as a CCP student at Clark State. And then that last part there, where is that we do have one general CCP email, the ccp@clarkstate.edu. Someone will get back to you as soon as possible, and we are here to help. And then that's our main admissions line there as well. So we would just love to have you as a Clark State Eagle. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Heather. And last but never least, Alicia Justice from Miami University.
Hi guys, how are you? I have 5 slides, so I will be very, very quick. My name is Alicia Justice. I'm the Director of Dual Credit Programs at Miami University. I will echo what everybody else has said. A lot of the same information will be shared. It's going to be state legislation, so a lot of us do have the same information here. You guys have a ton of options. I attend these visits from many schools, and I don't see all of these people in attendance, so this is very exciting for you guys. I'm going to quickly cover some of the Miami University information. Again, 5 slides, a lot of the same information, so I will fly through it. Step 1 is to apply. Our application deadlines are May 1st for next fall semester, April 1st if you're interested in participating in the summer, and then students that don't participate in summer or fall can apply just for the spring semester, and that application just passed on November 1st. So next February 1, that's when the application is going to become available, and you have from February 1st until May 1st to apply for the fall semester. When you submit your application there on the website that is linked, the transcript request is automatically going to go to your high school counselor. So at the time you apply, you are going to enter in their information, and they will receive an email immediately asking for them to recommend you for the CCP program. And they will also be able to upload transcripts directly to your application portal. Within a few business days, we will receive those transcripts, review your eligibility, and you will receive next steps via email. And then Emily, if you want to go to the next slide. So those next steps are going to contain some eligibility and college readiness material, or it will be your admit letter. So either you will, when your high school counselor includes your transcript, we will review it, and if you are eligible based off of any of these guidelines below, you will receive an admit letter. If you are not eligible based off of any of these guidelines that any of these other colleges also spoke on, then you'll receive an email letting you know that we have received your application, but you are not yet considered college ready, and we would like to invite you to our campus to take an AccuPlacer test, or that you can wait and submit updated transcripts with an updated GPA or test scores if you are scheduled to or are going to be taking the ACT or SAT. So any of those options, it's just one of the options. As long as you meet any of those guidelines, you will be admitted and receive your admission letter via email, generally within a few business days of applying. I also want to echo what Emily said. Being college ready is more than just hitting that GPA requirement. You do want to make sure that you are emotionally and socially ready to transition into that collegiate atmosphere. We have students that are full-time on campus, don't stay at the high school at all. They're on our campus full-time. And then we have students that never step foot on our campus. They might take a few online classes and are actually never present on our campus. So just making sure that you're college ready outside of those eligibility guidelines set by the state. Which campus should I select? So just this year, the regional campuses has actually kind of taken over the Oxford CCP program in regards to operations and processing. So you will see some changes if you have previously been a CCP student. It was two very different application processes. This year, we have merged those applications to one application. So that's why I'm sharing this information with you. I do oversee Oxford and regional CCP programs. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, but this will be new to you if you are a continuing CCP student. You do reapply each academic year, and this year you will see the Oxford campus as a selection on the application. You'll want to weigh your options here because it can be tricky. If you are interested in taking a class at the Oxford campus, you need to select Oxford. As a regional student, you won't be able to take Oxford classes. However, as an Oxford student, you will not be able to, Emily, if you want to go back one more slide. As an Oxford student, you will not be able to register for regional online classes until much later. So I oftentimes have students that apply to Oxford thinking, well, in this case, I can take classes at all of the locations. The class that they wanted at Oxford fills up first, and then when they go to try to register for the regional online class options that are available, they have a restriction. Ultimately, I would recommend that you weigh your options. Are you more interested in an Oxford class or a regional online class? I have many students that try to get in the Oxford class, it fills up, and by the time they're ready to register for regionals and we switch their campus, their regional class then fills up on the online option. So those are your options. Either select Oxford for your Oxford class, but if you are weighing options on the Oxford class or a regional online class, my recommendation is to select a regional campus because you will have more opportunity and likelihood of being able to register for a regional online class versus an Oxford in-person class. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be there, but I do oversee the Oxford program. So let me know if you have questions about which campus to select on the application. Last two slides, a little bit of information about Miami Regionals. We are One Miami. We are a college division of Oxford. So your transcripts will be printed on the same pretty red transcript paper. We are Miami University. At Miami Regionals, we offer 15 unique bachelor's degrees and 9 associate's degrees. So we have multiple students that start and end, graduate with their 4-year degree right from the regional campuses. At Miami Regionals, our student and faculty ratio is 18-1. So it's going to be very similar to what you might see in your high school. Your faculty are going to know your names and make good connections with you. It's why I stayed at Miami Regionals. I love the student faculty ratio we have. And then last but not least, the whole reason you're participating in this program is to save money on college. We also have a scholarship opportunity for any CCP student that participates in the CCP program at Miami Regionals and continues their education to matriculate and stay for a 4-year degree or to complete an associate's degree at Miami. They will be eligible for a $2,000 a year renewable scholarship. I used to work in financial aid. Our tuition cost is extremely low, and this is a higher scholarship amount just because of the low cost of tuition. That is renewable for up to 4 years. So you could get $2,000 a year up to 4 years if you continue at Miami Regionals. And this is stackable with the merit scholarship and things like that. So incredible opportunity for our CCP students to continue and continue to earn free education as well. I will let you guys look online if you're interested. These are the bachelor's degrees and associate's degrees we currently offer. More in the works. If I can help point you in the right direction or to a department chair, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you identify which classes you should register for if you're interested in one of these degrees and how we can continue and make a pathway for you here. That is it. I have the same email address as many of my partners here, ccpregionals@miamioh.edu. Feel free to give me a call. My information is also listed on our CCP website. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you so much, Alicia. We appreciate it. So, I believe that was the last slide, but there was actually a last slide that got skipped over and out of order. So I'm going to go back in time real quick. I see some questions in the chat that we'll address. Feel free to add more questions for the time remaining that we have. If you can scan this QR code, let us know that you were here. Attendance is sent to school counselors to help you sign up for CCP. So if you attended tonight and you're like, I want to speak to my school counselor by using this QR code and letting us know. It will allow us to also just give your school counselor a heads up because they work closely with our college department. So let me start hitting some questions here on my screen. I'm going to start with how CCP classes affect eligibility for high school sports. So we did touch base on that a bit. You have to be enrolled in 5 courses. That can be a mix of CCP or high school, but 5 courses have to be taken per term, per semester that you are an athlete and also enrolled in high school and CCP. So please know that. You'll want to look at the Ohio Association for Athletic Involvement to ensure that you're meeting that criteria. Really what I say is talk to your AAA pathway coach, talk to your athletic coach, and definitely 100% talk to your school counselor because they're the ones that are going to really work with you specific to what CCP looks like for you, for how you've performed academically up to this point, and what that means forthcoming with academic pursuit with athletics and eligibility. So there's a broad answer to that of being enrolled in 5 classes. Again, you can't use summer term in CCP towards rectifying prior credit that you're trying to rectify or counting for something. You have to take it within the fall or spring semesters, but they will be able to talk through the nuances that are specific to your athletic participation and experience. So please do connect with your school counselor. Can students from Cincinnati Digital Academy participate in the program? Yes, they can. So please do connect with your school counselor. We have school counselors at CDA that are biting at the bit to talk with you and walk you through what this means. So, and they'll be able to cross-articulate for you what that looks like on your high school graduation with CDA as well as your college participation. But we do have CDA students that participate. Where can I apply? So you will be applying again directly through the College of Intended Participation. So that's both for embedded courses as well as courses in person and online. So our last 5 speakers spoke exactly how to do that. It is a college application. It's called the College Credit Plus application on their website. So fill it out where you want to go. Speak to your school counselor because if you're interested in taking an embedded course, they're going to, or even online course or in-person course, they're going to walk you through that process, and there are deadlines that have been mentioned tonight. So we critically want to be able to look at what is needed and be ahead of the curve for that. But you can apply anyway to answer that question. The website link. I am not sure what this means, but please do remember that this PowerPoint will be live on our CPS website. Additionally, in scanning this QR code, I can make sure through attendance to send you a copy of this PowerPoint so that you have it. And please know that all of these links and all this information, it is accessible on our CPS website about CCP outside of the video. And it additionally is in the brain of your school counselor. So they will be able to get you that website link and resource. Another thing I add is that every single presenter tonight has identified that they have a website or an email that you can connect to. So if you're like, it was Miami University and I'm not sure who it was, please use the resources we give you. But if you're laying in bed on your phone, you can put in Miami University College Credit Plus and it will take you to those resources. The letter of intent, it is online on our CPS page. It's also with your school counselors. It is not a letter to really be drafted. It is more of a reading the criteria and filling out an acknowledgement of that. That letter does have to be documented before you participate in College Credit Plus, even in the application stage. So reminders will be going out about it, but the letter of intent is, I believe, on the first page of our CPS CCP website. And again, it's a clickable link that you review, acknowledge. It is due by April 1st each. And okay. Where do we find our students' GPA? So your students' GPA is able to be found on their student portal. So you can find that in multiple locations. And I might need Javon to bounce here to help me out a little bit with this one. But we do have it on their Student Academic Power School portal. So in Power School, you'll be able to look at the GPA as well as courses and grades that are taken. I believe also in Naviance, the student record will be able to show through Naviance your student's current GPA. And then additionally, if you're like, I kind of just want that quick answer with any questions additionally that I might have, your school counselor is also a great resource that will be able to look at it. But Power School is your best bet because it's also going to show you midterm grades, so mid-semester grades that your students have in courses as we kind of close out this December end of semester. And a couple more. I believe that one's been answered. Yes, so this is, it says, can 7th and 8th grade students participate? Yes, you can. With 7th and 8th grade students, it's a little different because you don't really have a transcript. So your course records will be sent by your school counselor in a different format, as was mentioned by one of our presenters. Additionally, with the weighted GPA factor, you'll want to speak with your school counselor just based on the unweighted GPA factor, what that looks like. And just for some courses that are high school credit bearing in 7th and 8th grade, taking of Algebra 1 and English usually identifies the start of a GPA bearing high school credit. And so as a 7th or 8th grader participating, you will be typically doing test optional or testing assessments to be able to take certain courses, especially within those first 15. So eligible for participation. In fact, this semester even, we have 2 8th graders in our district who are taking CCP, and we have about 12 9th graders who are participating in CCP, and that's as the word's getting out. It's not just those 2 are eligible, it's that the word's getting out, and we encourage our students in 7th and 8th grade to participate. And I believe that I have answered all the questions. If you have any more, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, our website is, not our website, excuse me, our email is listed above, college@cpsbo.k12.oh.us, the most fun email address ever. And we'll be happy to answer those questions. You can also write it on Facebook and we'll address it there. And use your school counselors, use these amazing resources and partners that we had on the call today. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our partners for giving us their evening to talk you through their specialty and their unique campus options. Have a great evening.